I keep saying stuff like that. Stuff like that, and stuff like that, and stuff like that, and stuff like that. I'm sorry. I wanted to talk to you today about our homeschool preschool plans for this year. I have Emily on a waiting list for a charter school program to do homeschooling. I think she'll be able to get through pretty easily on the wait list for the homeschool, at least, since it's homeschool and they don't have to, it's not like the classes will be too full when it's homeschool. But then again, I don't know much about the whole system, so you never know. The charter school that I have her waitlisted for is one that some people stay on the wait list for years, whereas others get in right away. So we'll see. They do it on like a lottery. Every year or every other year, I believe it's every year, they do like a lottery and they like pull names off of the wait list. And so we'll see how that goes, but she's still only just barely at preschool level, so or just getting to preschool level. So I'm going to homeschool preschool her, since they don't even have that as an option at the school anyway. And I'm not about to pay for preschool. I would rather do it at home with her and sort of get her started on the right track, the way that we would like her to at least start off, and we'll see how it goes from there. I just haven't even finished, but sort of finished like a rough draft version of like my lesson plans for the year, and it's becoming real and super exciting, but super like, oh my god, my baby's big now. Like, I'm writing lesson plans for school for her. But yeah, I'm sort of in like that bittersweet thing. I have it all written down in my notebook, and I've scribbled a lot and done a bunch of different stuff. But basically I wrote out like themes for each month of like sort of what my goal is to sort of base her lessons on for each month. So we're gonna start in August, so she still has a couple of months left. It's only the beginning of June right now. I'm going to probably do a few like little summer projects here and there for her this summer, but I'm not gonna go too heavy on it. I'm not quite sure what I'm doing yet, so I want to kind of ease her into it. But for August, we're gonna probably do like a all about me, or like all about like my body, like how your body works and stuff like that. Sort of teach her about that, like the 5 senses, and her birthday, and things like that. Just kind of how things work in that way, like teach her the different, she knows all of her different body parts and everything, but just sort of going a little more in depth with that. For September, I'm thinking probably like transportation, learn about different things that go places, like cars, planes, trains, blah blah blah. Like, she knows of all these things, but she doesn't actually have any sort of clue about how a plane flies, or how a ship works, or things like that. So I want to sort of teach her like rocket ships and boats, and she really wants to go on a boat sometime, and a plane, and a helicopter, and all these things, and crazy child. But just sort of base it around that, like different activities that involve cars and boats and trains, and probably like take her on a train or something like that for like a field trip, you know what I mean? I want to do lots of different activities that will keep her like hands-on and interested, as well as like little mini field trips as much as I can. Obviously close by and as cheaply as possible, because that's just how we live, but still interactive and exciting for her. It's not hard to please a preschooler. For October, of course, we'll do some Halloween stuff, because I love me some Halloween, and so does she. But also learning about like fall season, and farm like animals and stuff. Just sort of different activities with that. And there is a small like dairy farm not far away from us, so I will definitely take her there and sort of do some lessons based on the animals that are there. And November, I kind of want to carry on the farm theme, but more towards like the farm foods, like the different foods that we get from the farm, like all the fruits and vegetables. And I'm not sure yet if I'm going to go into like, oh, we get bacon from pigs, and like your chicken nuggets come from chickens, and like, things like that kind of thing. But I don't know how far we'll go into that. But I also I don't want to teach her what like the public school system does with Thanksgiving, because obviously the information is false in our textbooks. So I would actually prefer to do like thankfulness, like teach her how to be thankful and what things that we can be thankful for, and how can we show our thankfulness to those that we are thankful to, blah blah blah, like just teaching her sort of how to be thankful rather than the actual Thanksgiving. Our family does still celebrate Thanksgiving. We all get together and have the dinner with the family, and it's more of just a family holiday rather than focusing on sort of what happened. We've kind of gone back and forth on that. So then we have December, so of course I'll do like winter themed things. I'll let her do like different science-y projects on like ice and snow and like how all of that works. I also want to hit on different traditions around the world, like different winter traditions around the world, like the different holidays and things like that. I don't want her to only think like Christmas is everything in the world, and I definitely don't want her thinking that Christmas is just about presents or anything. I want to teach her what it's actually about. And I feel like this past Christmas she sort of got really obsessed with like the presents part of it, and I know that was because she's always with me when I do like my shopping and whatnot, and then also like all of the shows that you watch, and everywhere you go people innocently, they don't mean any harm, but they're like, oh, what are you gonna ask Santa for, or like things like that. But I don't want her, Matt and I don't want her growing up thinking, or any of our children thinking, that Christmas is just about getting stuff, like that's not how it works. So I want to teach her about the different like traditions around the world, different holidays around the world, sort of what Christmas is all about, the family and the love and just everything like that, and let her do a bunch of different experiments with like snow and ice, and learn about winter. So January, I'm going to probably on like hibernation and what that is, and what animals hibernate and what animals migrate, and just sort of what animals do in the winter. I kind of go back and forth on that, but that's kind of what I keep going back to, so I'm going to probably stick with that. Sort of just like what animals do in the winter. There's differences in all the different animals. For February, I'm going to sort of try to touch on, again, I don't want it to be all about like, oh, the Valentine's Day and like who's your crush and blah 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 blah, but I want to do cute little projects with her, like Valentine's themed, but I want to touch more on like emotional understanding, sort of like how do we cope with things, how do we show our love to people, and how do like everybody feels love in a different way. And I want to sort of touch on that with her, because that is kind of a big thing that I try to teach her anyway, because she definitely does not understand that so far. She, one of her best friends is a very like, we always joke that her little friend is like a cat, and Emily is more like a dog. Like Emily will run up to you and just like be so excited to see you, and just like, oh my gosh, you're here now. Whereas like this little friend, that freaks her out, and she's just like, no, I need my space. Like I will warm up to you when I feel like it, and like don't come jump in my face or like the claws are coming out. So, and it's like crazy, but so, and Emily gets her feelings hurt really badly about that. So I sort of want to teach her different things of like, you know, sometimes you can show love in different ways. I also want to teach her like sort of how to handle and how to express her feelings in a way that will come across. Things like that. She does sort of struggle with that sometimes, and not in a bad way, but just she sort of struggles with it sometimes, just understanding. So it's probably what I'm going to, that's probably the month that I will more focus on it. But that is also something that I kind of want to, that's just a lesson that I try to kind of weave into every day. So we'll see. For March, I have bugs and insects and spring. So as you can probably tell, every few months I do whatever season is coming about around that time. I want to teach her like the different seasons, stuff like that, and sort of wrap that up. Do different projects to teach her about that. She loves to be hands-on, so I want to do very like interactive stuff. She's very artsy. I want to do very artsy stuff with her, let her, you know, paint and color and put things together and all that stuff. So like bugs and insects and spring is what I have down for March. That will be a fun one. She already loves going outside. We try to go outside every day, if not almost every day, and I try to make her comfortable around bugs, because she all on her own just became like freaked out. Like as a baby, as young as I can remember her noticing even ants, she would lose her marbles if an ant was anywhere close to her. Like she goes nuts. Now I've been working with her and she's kind of a little better about it, but she's still like will have a tantrum if it's on her or something. She's like, you know, but anyway, sort of like teach her about those things so she can maybe understand them a little better and not be freaked out or anything like that, and sort of be like, oh yeah, these things do this and blah blah blah. There's a lot of fun little bug projects. April, I'm thinking of doing sort of like learning about the earth, as well as like outer space, like the different planets and such, you know, the sun and the moon and the earth, and sort of how that all works, and sort of incorporate the weather into that, and do different projects on like the rain and the sun and just all kinds of different stuff like that. And then for May, I will do like a summer theme, as well as like plants and gardening, and sort of stick with the spring type theme, but sort of mix it with summer, because that's when summer will be coming around soon, and then we're going to be going on summer break, do different summer crafts and things like that. But that's sort of my idea. If you have any experience in this or any sort of ideas for different themes, please leave me some comments or send me a message or whatever you want to do, because I'm very clueless when it comes to all of this, but I've been looking up a lot of different things. I've been looking up a lot of different projects, and I'm super excited. I always said I was going to public school my kids because I went through public school and that's just all I knew. But now that I'm older, I realize I don't actually like the public school system as it is these days, and I would rather homeschool her the right way. I've only ever known of homeschooling being like, oh, that kid that just stays home all the time and is socially awkward and whatever, but no. My mother-in-law homeschooled all the kids, and she did it the right way, where they all were in different sports and activities, and they went to all kinds of social events, and like they've got tons of friends, and they get to see people all the time, and they never just like sit around at home and become socially awkward, you know. And I'm definitely going to do that with Emily, and that's sort of the route I want to go with homeschooling. I don't know if we're going to continue just homeschooling forever, or if we'll do sort of a half and half with the charter school that I have her waitlisted for. But the baby is calling me now, so. Nurse the baby back to sleep, and I have the light shining in my eye because it's dark. Anyway, so I am tired. flashlight in your eye will really make you feel more tired. Anyway, so that is sort of our rough plan for homeschool preschooling Emily this upcoming school year, and I'm so excited. I don't know where to start, honestly. I've been wanting to sort of get into gear already to just sort of start weaning her into it with some summer activities, but I just don't know where to start. I'm low on like supplies so far. We're trying to work out money and stuff, but I know there's things I can do that are like low or no cost, and I've been looking up lots of different ideas. I just don't know where to start, but I'm gonna get started. I'll start recording things that we do here and there. I'm not gonna record everything, obviously, because I want to focus more on Emily than on recording, but I'm sort of leaning towards updating regularly with videos on, you know, how she's progressing. I think I kind of wanted to do like a month at a time, just to kind of show a little like review of different activities we've done with that month, so like the different monthly themes that we've done, but I'm not sure. Tell me if you would be interested in that, or if I should just do it less frequently, like every few months, like trimester type deal. But anyway, I am stoked to be doing this. Let me know if there's any tips that you have for like planning, like lesson plans, or for getting started, or things to avoid doing. Like I said, I'm very inexperienced in this, and I'm just kind of doing this on my own here, taking a shot in the dark. I'm doing a lot of research, obviously, but still, like, I'm not experienced, so I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just, you know, gonna try my best and hope for the best. So root us on, please. And if you have any sort of advice or helpful tips or anything, please let me know. Send me a message, leave a comment. I am so down for all of that. Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.